play I watched them live, I think I told this story before last spring. The very first play I watched them live in high school was a kick return, and he took it 75 yards. He didn't score. I always give him crap for that. He didn't score, but he took it 75 yards the first touch of the game with a kick return. So he's got many skills, many skills.
Can you talk about Oliver Martin and his progression so far for you?
Sure. Oliver's done a really good job. The thing that I talked about, in the off season, in the interviews leading up to the season, and even during the season, everybody wants Oliver to play right now, and it's kind of unfair. Number one, like we talked about before, it takes a lot for any young man, whether it's coming out of high school or coming from another, 4-year institution. It takes a lot to learn what's being asked of you on a day-to-day basis. We hold these guys accountable to a very high standard. I'm sure other programs do as well, but it's different here versus anywhere else, whether it's high school or another 4-year institution. So when you come in, that in itself is going to be a process. So to think that any young man, whether it's a transfer or freshman coming in, is going to play right away and just understand what's expected of me and know all the plays and know everything that there is to know, that's unfair. That's really unfair. But to his credit, he's done a really good job of being accountable. I have no issues with Oliver off the field. I enjoy him in meetings. He's fun to coach. Moving forward, it's can we push forward? Like we talked about the opening statement about improving. He's one of those guys that I'm looking for improvements because obviously there's opportunity. With Brandon being out, and we need guys to step up to fill the void. He's one of those guys that there's definite opportunity, as is other guys. So we'll see what happens.
It seems like the standard has risen so, multiplied practically since you've been here, just because of youth and inexperience a couple of years ago to now being at a level where there are 4 guys that are playing. You guys run 10 personnel a lot before Brandon got hurt, and they're all playing at a pretty high level. Does that make it more difficult for somebody like Oliver or even Calvin Lockett or Desmond Hudson to come in and play right away because the growth and the experience of the other players?
Sure, I look at it 2 ways. One side of it would say, yeah, it's difficult for those guys to come in and play right away. The other side of it is meet the standard. Right? There's a challenge in the room right now, and every day is a competition. It's a race to get better. And our room is an opportunity to get better. And you're either taking advantage of the opportunity or you're not. If you're not getting better, you're getting through. And that's not what we're looking for. We're looking to get better every day. And like I said, this week is a huge, huge opportunity for not only those guys that are playing or those backup roles, but even those guys that are, in the backstage, so to speak. Everybody needs to push forward. And there's always a job to win. Whether it's a starting job or a backup job, there's always a job to win.